Steyr is a name that redefined the battlefield with the AUG or the AUG and the SSG-69. Nice. But for decades, their pistol lineup has lived in the shadows. However, that ends now. This is the Steyr ATC, an all-steel 9mm powerhouse made for practical shooting. Is this the comeback that the Austrian powerhouse has been waiting for? Stick around to find out. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dennis at the Range. Today we're going to talk about this new Steyr ATC 6-inch, the new pistols that Steyr came out, and a little bit of history on the brand to give it some context. For those who are new on the channel, my name's Dennis, I'm a French practical shooter. I created this channel to share the stories of the guns that I really like and enjoy, to document my practical shooting journey like I do right here, and just to learn along the way. I'm just getting started and I have a bunch of plans for the channel. So make sure to subscribe to follow along. I also have an Instagram at Dennis at the Range, so make sure you follow me over there too. If you enjoy this type of content and more, like and comment down below your thoughts on this beautiful firearm. Now without further ado, let's get to it. The beginning of Steyr. Steyr, I don't know, I'm gonna murder the name. The company was founded April 16th, 1864 by a man named Joseph Verndl. I hope I'm again pronouncing it properly. Joseph came from a family of blacksmiths from the city of Steyr. The city of Steyr was very famous for its ironworking, dating all the way back to the 12th century. Joseph founded the, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna read, but this name is crazy, Joseph und Franz Verndl and Comp Waffenfabrik und Sägemühle. Yeah, long name. He was a visionary who had studied the mass production techniques of Colt and Remington back in the United States and wanted to create firearms in Austria. And it was in 1867 that he had his first major breakthrough. I'm interrupting this video to talk to you about CNP Tir. CNP Tir is a gun shop in Tours, which is about 3 hours away from Paris, and they're the gun shop that lent me most of the pieces that are in the channel. They are the first ones to believe fully in Dennis at the Range, so I really have to thank them a lot for that, and I'm really grateful. They just lend me the guns, I do whatever I want with them, and then I give them back. They have absolutely everything, and I was very surprised when I walked in and I saw all that there is here. They have all the latest things that come out from the industry, and they also have a bunch of old vintage rifles with a lot of history. They truly are a one-stop shop for anything related to firearms. I am right now in their vault, and you can see there's just everything. So again, thank you very much to CNP. Now let's get to the video. Alongside his technical director, Karl Holub, they developed a revolutionary breech loading rifle. Now their new rotating drum breech action was so effective that the Austro-Hungarian Empire ordered 100,000 of them. The growth was so big that in 1869, the company went public as the Österreich Waffenfabrik Gesellschaft, or OEWG. And by 1981, it was the largest weapon manufacturer in the world. They employed over 100,000 people, and they produced just around 1 million guns annually.
Mexico.
Then, Ferdinand Mannlicher, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, joined the company. Ferdinand had the reputation of being the John Moses Browning of Austria, and he had a lot of innovation planned for Steyr. And innovation he delivered, because in 1895 he developed the straight pull bolt action, which allowed the soldiers for faster reload. He also invented the famous clip system, which is something that you would see in the Garand later in the future. And collaborating with Otto Schönauer, the company produced the Mannlicher Schönauer rifle 1903. If you thought 1 million guns annually was a lot, wait till you hear about World War I. World War I saw the peak of Steyr's firearm production. They were producing over 4,000 guns a day. But the aftermath, as you know, completely destroyed the company. The Treaty of Saint-Germain prohibited Austria from making weapons. So what did Steyr do? They had to diversify. Having the big manufacturing capabilities that they had, moved on to making cars, trucks, and even bicycles, which were famously known as Waffenräder. In 1934, they merged with Austria Daimler and Pusch to form the Steyr Daimler Pusch conglomerate. During this era, they produced iconic machines like the Pinzgauer and the Haflinger, and the most famous one, the G-Wagon. Yes, Steyr made the G-Wagon. And like many other German companies, don't ask them what they were doing in the late 30s, early 40s.
What are you doing?
Because it was during World War II, under Nazi control that the company became a cog in the Reichswerke Hermann Göring. Steyr ended up manufacturing the Kar 98K rifle and the MG34 for those front lines. And yeah, their employees weren't on a 9-to-5 schedule with a 401k, unfortunately. After World War II, Steyr's production was stopped until 1950. And once 1950 passed, they went all in on innovation. Slowly but surely, Steyr started getting back the traction that they had in the firearms industry, which is the Scharfschützengewehr 69. That'll always make me laugh, I'm sorry. This was the first modern sniper rifle to use synthetic materials and a cold hammer forged barrel. It was the most accurate gun at the time. Since they were already messing with composite materials such as polymer, etc., they came out with the AUG. The AUG stands for Armée Universelle Gewehr, and it was a futuristic bullpup made largely of polymer. They also created the Scout Sniper with Colonel Jeff Cooper, which is the father of modern practical shooting, which, thank you, Mr. Cooper. And in 1989, Steyr's weapons manufacturing division was separated and it became Steyr Mannlicher. And it was in 1989 that Steyr finally entered the polymer pistol market with their M9. However, the M9 never really gained traction and Steyr didn't have a really good option for their pistol. Now that was going to change in April of 2024, because it was when a Czech investment group called RSPC Holding purchased Steyr arms. Mind you, RSBC already owned another firearms manufacturer, a Slovenian one, called Arex Arms. And it's very important that we give context on who Arex is. Like other modern weapon manufacturers, such as Armazika, which I did right here, Arex started as a precision tooling company. They ended up entering the firearms market with the Rex 01, which was a pistol that was heavily inspired by the SIG P226, and eventually they released the Rex Alpha, which was a 5-inch full competition built gun that was specifically designed for IPSC production and standard. RSBC was in a very logical position. They had Arex that had really good pistols and Steyr that had a lot of knowledge, the name and the manufacturing capabilities, and they decided to merge those together. The parts are made in Slovenia, but they are hand-fitted and precisely finished in Austria. So what exactly did Steyr release? Well, they had two main lines, the ATC and the ATD. C stands for competition, and on the other side, D stands for defense. Okay, so now let's take a look in detail at this gun. Here we have the Steyr Arms ATC 6-inch. So let's unbox it. Let's start from the top over here because there's actually a lot of things included in this one. So first we have a red fiber optic to replace the sight, and these are the two trigger springs. So you can tune your trigger, and these are the two springs that are on it. Right now it has the medium, so there's the hard and the soft. Then we have the test, the shooting test that this specific gun performed. It seems to be 5 rounds, I guess. It has the date here, so it's the 28th of October at 25 meters. Here we have two small Torx keys with their respective screws to further tune this gun. Right here we have an optics plate, we have a replacement trigger. Steyr was really going for that modularity, and they have an extensive manual where they show you how to tune your gun, how to lubricate it, how to mount everything. Yeah, this is super nice coming from Steyr. Coming back over here, we have a nice little cleaning kit to clean the gun. Then we have 1, 2, 3 magazines. We'll go over the magazines later. Okay, let's begin with the trigger. So I'll show you that this firearm is safe. This trigger is a single action only because this gun was made for competition, and it's about 1.3 kilograms, which is 2.8 pounds. So let's test it. This is the small wall it has, and then I get to that wall, and then super light, and let's test the reset right now. Very nice positive reset. I like it a lot. This trigger is super cool. Since it's a single action only, it means that there's the safety, obviously. And the safety here is just flip up and down. Very tactile, very nice. On the other AT series guns, the safety is actually also a hidden decocker. So if you have your hammer back, you can continue to pull this up and the gun will decock. So if we look at the sights, we see here that we have the red fiber optic, and in the back, the sights are completely blacked out. So this is what you would want on your iron sights. You want an illuminated dot in the front, and in the back you want blacked out. In an ideal world, you would put a red dot, so that doesn't really matter. Here you have the optics plate that you can take out. This you pull out and you put another optics plate. If we look at the slide serrations, they are actually pretty cool. They are very aggressive. Since this is a competition gun, they're open over here, and that's for two main reasons. The first one is for weight, because there's less mass reciprocating, so that kind of makes sense. And the second one is to give you that nice grip. Since it's for competition, it shouldn't really have to be made for adverse conditions. So it's not designed to have dirt and debris get all over here. That's for the ATD series. So here we can take a look at this nice and beautiful finishing. If we look at this 6-inch barrel, nothing really to write home about. This is pretty cool because this, I think, can also be tuned. This is the recoil spring. And the recoil spring, it has 2 stages. I'll show it when I'll assemble the pistol, but it has like the first stage right here, and then it has kind of like this small buffer. So when you're recoiling, it has the normal recoil, which would be like this spring, and in the end, it has a small buffer, kind of like a hydraulic buffer. It feels like this gun has a hydraulic buffer, which is made with this spring. Looking at the frame right now, we can see that it has a Picatinny rail over here. The slide stop and slide release is actually very small. You can still reach it with your thumb on top of the safety. The magazine release is actually ambidextrous, so you can go on this side and on this side. And with the torque keys that's included in the kit, you can pull this out and put it on the other side just to have more purchase on that magazine release. This grip is actually very interesting from this gun because they're made from PA12 polymer and they are 3D printed. What's cool about this being 3D printed is that Steyr actually released all the dimensions of this thing, and you can go online, get the dimensions and print this and make whichever grip you want. This is also really cool because this beaver tail is done in the same fashion. So this is, again, public domain. You can just go, and if you like manufacturing stuff, you can manufacture them in any way you want. So this is what the gun looks like. Yeah, it's overall such a nice gun. And then we have the magazines. In this case, this is an 18 round magazine and it has the +2 extension. These are the regular Mech Gar magazine, which everyone knows, very reliable, very nice magazine. A lot of other pistols have them. Now let's put it back together and I'll show you the recoil pattern. Okay, so we are clear. I'll see if I can show this in the camera. But basically, we have like kind of like 2 stages when the gun is reloading. The first one is this one. So I'm here in the back, and then if I push a bit more, there's like a small amount of play, but that play is a lot harder. So I'm gonna do it from here. So that's like the regular way it cycles, and then you see it kind of like has this small movement. So when the gun reciprocates hard, I guess it would be better and easier on the recoil. Overall, an amazing gun. I think this is super cool, the fact that they made it 3D printable, so anyone can do whatever they want on the gun. Everything is super modular. They even offer the replacement for that. You can put an optics plate, which I honestly, I think you should. This is really a cool gun, and I really hope that Steyr keeps on making very interesting stuff like that and that the market evolves along with it. So yeah, this is the Steyr AT6 6-inch. Overall thoughts, this is a great firearm. I actually really like it. I enjoy it. It feels really good on the hand. It's pretty cool that this is open source, so you can basically 3D print whatever you want. Again, a huge thanks to Steyr. Thank you for letting me spend some time with this Steyr. It's actually very rare to find a shop that lends you firearms like that. Trust me, I tried a bunch and never got a reply, so they were actually the first ones to believe in that, and for that I will be eternally grateful. I put their Instagram down below, so make sure to go check them out. They have an amazing selection of anything that you need. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned a bunch of things. If you did, make sure to give it a like and comment down below your thoughts on this one. Is Steyr back? Make sure to follow me on Instagram and I'll see you on the next one. Dennis, out.